Well, this week, you guys know Netflix always has brand new content coming out every single week, and this week we have Warrior Nun Season 1, a brand new original series, and let me tell you, premise sounded cool. The basic scenarios of it kind of seemed like it was going to be this typical series that I've seen before, but it actually locked me in, and I'm very excited to talk about this one. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new Netflix review. Today I'm going to be going over Warrior Nun Season 1, and if you guys are new here and you guys enjoy Netflix reviews, early movie reviews, and all sorts of stuff like that, hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss out on content like this over here on a daily basis, as well as comment down below, guys. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are. Do you guys enjoy this series? Did you not? Let's discuss it all down there. Warrior Nun, a title that definitely sounds just completely cheese, and it kind of can be cheesy, but definitely Warrior Nun. It's about a young woman who wakes up with a divine artifact in her back and gets caught in a war between the forces of heaven and hell. This is truly a unique series. I mean, just from that synopsis alone, that's what hooked me to want to check out this series. And I'm glad that I did, because this is one that, the first 2 episodes or whatever, it seems like this basic CW type show that is rated R, and, I was kind of like, okay, I can get into this, because, my biggest cons with any of those types of shows is they're always like 15 to 22 episodes, and I just can't handle that. But this is only 10 episodes. Each episode's like 38 to 48 minutes. That's all fine with me. And like I said, the first 2 episodes definitely slower side. Nothing spectacle, nothing that's really grabbing you out of your mind. There's some cool things here and there, but this is a show that absolutely grows as it develops more and more. Based off a comic book, which I have not checked out. I don't know much about, so I'm not basing this review by any means necessary on any of that nature and how this is as an adaptation. I'm just coming off as a person who thinks that the concept was cool, and I was excited to see how this world was going to be fleshed out in the end, and especially some of the characters along the way. Which again, like I said, the first 2 episodes they were fine. They were whatever. There's some basic teenage drama in there, and I will say the main character Ava in here, she has a lot of certain spectacles to her, because she has this different dynamic that I don't want to get into in particular, because you learn throughout the series, but she's had a hard past, and this divine artifact has done a lot for her, and the first 2 episodes really focus in on her as a character, and I felt that relatability, because if I were in her shoes, I would be feeling the exact same way she was. In a weird way, this is definitely an origin story for this character of Ava, and in general, opening up our eyes to this great mythology that is totally blasted throughout the series. And this is my thing. I'm a big mythology person. A series could just be completely okay, but if it has good mythology and decent characters, I can get locked into that. And Warrior Nun, I think some of the character development here is actually pretty good. Nothing's that, sticks out, but I think the mythology, the action set pieces, and some of the cinematography in here is actually some of the stuff that gets me invested into here. It makes me say, I want a season 2. I want to see where this is going. With every first season, that is what the purpose of the first season is supposed to do. Get you locked in, get you sucked in, and make you want to invest yourself inside this world. Well, Baptist, who plays Ava, is absolutely great in here. I think definitely she starts a little bit on the weaker side, but again, as the story develops her character, it develops her into an actress. I've never seen her in much, but I think she's actually pretty good in here. Alba Baptist is definitely the main character of this whole entire show. That does not mean that there are not other awesome kick-ass ladies in here and men who do some great acting in here. Some of the performances that really stuck out to me the most was Christina Tauterio Young, who plays Sister Beatrice. Great. Lorena Andrea, who plays Sister Lilith. Awesome. And of course, even jumping into Sylvia De Fante, who plays Mother Superior. Just some excellent stuff in there, but easily my most standout character in this whole entire show was Toya Turner as Shotgun Mary. Easily the most, not just the most badass character in this whole entire show, but also the one that you can latch onto the easiest. I think they do so much with her character, and again, Ava gets a lot in here to really feel for her and understand where her character is going, but for me, Shotgun Mary was my favorite character just because of the character development they did for her, the way that you can understand and feel for her from where her past is coming from, but also just how badass she is, which again, I've already mentioned the action set pieces, but I want to give them a little bit more of a credit here, because I'm always very picky when it comes to action, and I'm not ready to say that every single action in here was some of the best I've ever seen, or even some of the visual effects, but there is some awesome set pieces in here that have some great camera work in here, and I must applaud the creators of the show and the directors who are doing those and the stunt choreograph, because, we can see a lot of basic action stuff, and it can be very generic, and it doesn't stick out memorably, but there are some sequences in here that really stuck out to me. And again, as I said, as the show gets on, definitely after the first 2 episodes, this show flies and starts to really grow into its own self. And that's when I started to really, again, like this show a lot. It wasn't just because I was getting invested into this world or even the characters or maybe even some of the action that just got me super excited. It was the way they decided to tell this story. The last episode in here is much slower than you would expect. But it works for the story so well because it built to that point and you find yourself so invested on every single word that is coming out of these certain characters' mouths. And of course, I don't want to get into it because it's spoilers, but if you've watched the whole show, you definitely know what I'm talking about. I was very interested in there, and that maybe not be for everyone, but I was very interested, and especially in the way how they ended this season, because now I am very anticipating season 2 if we get one. Fingers crossed we do. You know, not every series is perfect, and Warrior Nun, the one thing I want to jump into is some of the subplots in here I thought were completely useless. I get why they were there, but I think you could have done it in a completely different nature. And I think the first 2 episodes set up certain things that literally go nowhere, shape, or form. And I was waiting, oh, like, is this going to come in here? Is this going to come in? And it never does. And there are certain elements where certain episodes will end, and then it feels like it picks up, and it's like, oh, I feel like I'm missing something here. Definitely with certain subplots, there are things that I wish they would have explained just a little bit better and maybe even dove into. Again, mostly my cons come from the main subplots in here that just really, one in particular, just really didn't go anywhere. And it was kind of like, oh, that's like a pin that just completely went nowhere. I can understand why they had it in there for Ava's character and the sake of her, but I just didn't think it was needed. It really just pounded in like how shitty of a life she had in the past, and I get it why it was in there, but it just didn't work for me in that right. Before I give you guys my final thoughts on Warrior Nun Season 1, make sure to comment down below. Let me know your guys' thoughts. Are you guys excited for the show? Did you guys already get to check it out? Let's discuss it all down below, guys, in the comment section. Did you guys read the comic book? Let me know. Let's talk about it. As well, guys, make sure to head over to Sandwich on Films on where you guys can check out films early. And of course, just a big thank you to you and a big thank you to my Patreon supporters, because without you, I wouldn't be able to do this. Warrior Nun was absolutely a big surprise for me. I like the synopsis, I like the concept, but it seemed like it was going to be this basic CW fantasy show that I've all seen before. But with only 10 episodes and each episode being pretty short, I absolutely was sucked into this show by the 3rd episode and wanted to finish it right away. The action set pieces are really memorable at times, and the characters grow on you just as the actors and actresses grow into themselves, into these characters. It does truly feel like an origin story, and I'm wanting to see more of where Ava's character goes. It's an interesting mythology behind her, and Shotgun Mary definitely was my favorite character out of this whole entire show. Such a badass, and again, a lot of memorable moments in here that I was completely sucked into. I, again, was not expecting to like this show so much, but I really did. Yes, there's a lot of inconveniences with the subplots and some that I just didn't really think were absolutely needed and really slowed down the pacing of the show. Would have made this whole season maybe a little bit more coherent, but definitely it ended in a way where I said, I need a season 2. Please give us a season 2, Netflix. So with all that said, I'm going to give Warrior Nun a B. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are down below in the comment section. Do you guys like the show? Did you not? Let's discuss it down below, guys. I'm really curious to hear your guys' thoughts. I haven't talked to anyone really about this show since I watched it, so I'm a little bit in the know. Is everyone going to hate this? Is everyone not? I'm curious to hear your guys' thoughts nonetheless. So thank you guys again so much for watching this, and of course, until next time, stay classy.